Uncharted 4 released 10 years ago. Since then, we've gotten bigger games, better graphics, more complex stories, more ambitious RPGs, and somehow, despite all of that, nothing has replaced Uncharted. And the older I get and the more I go back to replay these games, I realize that we will probably never get another series like this again. Of course, it's possible for developers to make another game like Uncharted, but I do believe a lot of the industry that allowed a series like this to exist just isn't around anymore. Which sucks, because we were truly spoiled with how good these games were. The spectacle, the characters, the music, the set pieces, the fact that Naughty Dog was able to turn like 30 hours of rock climbing into one of the most recognized and acclaimed game series of all time is truly a feat to behold. Uncharted feels like lightning in a bottle. And today I want to reminisce on those highs and talk about why we probably won't ever see anything quite like it again. Uncharted was released in a time where one of the big gaming trends was huge cinematic adventure games. It was before open world or live service games had really started to kick off. And this influence can be seen in many titles. Resident Evil's shift to action, Tomb Raider, all of Sony's big titles like God of War, Infamous. But it's pretty undeniable that Uncharted was the king of this era. The original Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, is nowadays not always looked upon super positively. It is very true that every game that came after it refined its ideas to create something better. But this is still the game that started it all. And I think the biggest contributing factor to its success was, of course, Nathan Drake. As a whole, I really think it is the characters, their relationships, the writing, and of course the amazing performances of their voice actors that truly set Uncharted apart from a lot of other games. But back to Drake's Fortune. Nathan Drake, Sully, and Elena are truly the highlights of the entire game. As I said, I think every other aspect was improved upon in the sequels, but for the time it was still a big game. The PS3 didn't have the most positive reception at this point, with a lot of lost exclusives and delayed titles. So Drake's Fortune was a break from all that. It was a really high quality adventure, showcasing some really impressive technology for the time with its motion capture and big set pieces. But still, read any old review of this game and it will highlight Nate, Sully, and Elena as the best part of this game. Their relationships and dialogue can be cheesy, but they are very endearing and enjoyable to be around for the entire game. It was one of the first games that people started to think could actually rival the film industry, with a great story and fun gameplay, so a playable movie, pretty much. Drake's Fortune had a great start. It could be seen as a genre-defining game. This is what many companies would try to replicate in this blockbuster era of gaming. But let's be honest, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves is when this series was truly cemented as the best in its league. It did everything a sequel should, improved on every aspect from the first game. Better graphics, bigger set pieces, more action, more characters. It was truly a fantastic experience. And somehow, it was released only 2 years after Drake's Fortune, and Uncharted 3 only 2 years after the second. In a span of 4 years, we got 3 of the most iconic PlayStation titles in the history of the entire console. It's truly just impossible for something like this to happen again. This many games of such high quality releasing in a short period of time is something we really don't see from any company anymore. Even after 3, it took 5 years until the release of the next mainline game, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End on PS4. 4 of the best action-adventure titles in all of gaming released in 9 years. That is impressive. Nowadays, we probably have to wait till the 2030s to finish this series. They did have competition, which might have helped with the development time. I've always enjoyed the Tomb Raider reboot series, and of course Naughty Dog's other big release at the time, The Last of Us. But Uncharted was still unique enough from these titles, so no one could really replicate its success. And as I was mentioning earlier, I think a huge part of this was the characters. How each game continued to build on their story and and chemistry to make them the real gaming icons they are today. These characters actually felt like real people that had history together, and that was built during the main story and the small moments. The random conversations while walking through ruins or climbing up walls, the dumb jokes. The way the dialogue just felt natural. It honestly seems effortless now, but it's truly impressive how they made us care so much about these characters. I think about the Tomb Raider reboot series, and I can't name a single character apart from Lara Croft. But of course I know all the Uncharted characters. They are what made this series. Now, the great characters were what made you love these games, but what first enticed you to play them was the action. And it shouldn't be understated how good Naughty Dog was at doing action. I genuinely think people might forget how insane Uncharted set pieces were when these games came out. The train sequence in Uncharted 2 raised the bar for action set pieces so high, I'm still not even sure it's been reached. It's still better than most AAA action sequences, and you have examples of this across the entire series. The helicopter attack and collapsing buildings, the sinking ship, the plane chase and cargo sequence, the Madagascar chase in Uncharted 4. These moments weren't cool because they looked cinematic, they were cool because you were in them. It was a playable action movie. And Naughty Dog has this unbelievable ability to blend gameplay and spectacle together in a way that made everything feel seamless. Every new game in the series felt like it was trying to one-up the last one, and somehow they kept pulling it off. But Uncharted did also understand restraint and pacing. Modern AAA games sometimes feel terrified of giving players downtime, but Uncharted knew that this downtime makes the action all the more important. After a massive, explosive sequence, you'd usually have some quiet character moments, some exploring or climbing, some fun conversations, until you gradually build into another incredible sequence. It's a basic formula, but it's perfected in these games to create amazing experiences. Combining great characters with incredible action is something easier said than done, and somehow Uncharted managed to do it like no other game had done or will do in the future. And nowadays, there's so much talk about video games being bad, video essays about why you don't like games anymore. But I do truly believe that this industry is still putting out a lot of masterpieces. Yeah, a lot of it is indie studios, and that's incredible. But that's also why we won't ever get another series like Uncharted. Of course, we still will get cinematic single-player games. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, or the recently released James Bond game, have both been compared to Uncharted. I haven't played 007, but I can say I love the Great Circle. I mean, I even made a whole video on it. But it was still missing something. A lot of modern AAA games are designed to last forever. Everything needs endless replayability and online content, open worlds, massive progressive systems, that kind of stuff. Uncharted was pretty much the opposite of that philosophy. These were expensive, but insanely polished linear games that you finish in like 12 hours and then replayed a bunch of times just because they were that fun. There's really no filler or side content, just pacing. And when every level feels handcrafted and every moment feels intentional, it just makes for a really great experience. And honestly, I think the industry moved away from this style of game just because they are so expensive to make. I love indie games, but it would be impossible for an indie studio to create a game of the same quality and spectacle as Uncharted 4, especially from a budgetary standpoint. Games like Uncharted require insane animation work, massive set pieces, detailed environments, Hollywood-level performances. And once the game is done, that's it. No reason for people to pay more money. So new cinematic games aren't unheard of, they're just a lot less common and usually a lot less successful than Uncharted was. As I said, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is probably the closest thing we've gotten to a modern Uncharted, and I loved it. But even that game shows how difficult it is to recreate what Naughty Dog achieved. The spectacle is there, the adventure is there, but it's missing nearly a decade of character development and emotional investment. I love the gameplay, and Troy Baker as Indy was amazing. But the rest of the characters never really got up to the same quality as Uncharted did many years ago. We might not get a sequel, and if we do, it probably won't be for a long few years. It's just not the same as the games Naughty Dog was putting out 15 years ago. So which of these games is the best one? The best Uncharted game is a highly contended topic, which makes the series all the more impressive when nearly every game could be considered the best one. Minus Drake's Fortune, I'm not sure anyone likes that one the best. Uncharted 2 is often the top contender, and yeah, I get that, it might be my personal favorite, but the reason I think we won't get another Uncharted is because of Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 is not a game that can be made by itself. It only works because of everything that came before it. In the same way that I don't think we'll ever get another Avengers Endgame, Uncharted 4 is built on all the games before it, and uses them to enhance its story. You can't just create an ending like Uncharted 4 did. You have to earn it, and Naughty Dog definitely did earn it. To be able to end this series definitively in such a satisfying way that reflects everything that came before it is truly something I never thought I would see. The reason this game's narrative hits so hard emotionally is because you've already spent years with these characters. We've watched Nathan go from this reckless treasure hunter chasing adventure and action, now to someone trying to live a normal life. In a way, his character in these games reflects us as we grew up playing these. When Drake's Fortune released, a lot of us were younger, drawn in by the adventure and action and treasure hunting. By the time Uncharted 4 released, a lot of us had grown up alongside Nathan Drake. We were older and moving on now. And that's what makes this game so good. Uncharted 4 isn't really about pirate treasure or Libertalia. It's about obsession, growing older, and moving on. It's about not knowing who you are when the adventure ends, which is a fitting ending for the entire series. Nathan spends the entire last game trying to convince himself that he needs this one last adventure. Even if he's using his brother to justify it, we all know that's what he wants. But we also know that he's really searching for a version of himself that used to exist. And I think that's something a lot of people can relate to. Nathan has to learn to move on from the life he used to have. And in a way, so did we. The people who played Drake's Fortune in 2007 weren't the same people playing Uncharted 4 in 2016. We got older, we got jobs, life moved on. And that's why Nathan's journey feels so relatable. So seeing that final epilogue is so good because it shows us that moving on is okay. We've seen Nathan's entire journey and now we can relate to it. Seeing Nathan and Elena living a normal life is truly just perfect. The adventure is over, and it was very satisfying to see such a mature ending. Naughty Dog could have easily just made Uncharted 4 another explosive action game, and kept the series going on for years to come. But instead, they chose to tell a really great story, and conclude Nathan Drake's adventure in the most satisfying way. That's what I mean when I say we won't get another Uncharted. We will never have 3 great action-adventure games build up character relationships and ultimately be concluded in an amazing final entry. At least not in the same time span or of the same quality that Uncharted has done. So I'm honestly glad they stopped. As much as I selfishly want another Uncharted game, Uncharted 4 ended exactly how it needed to. Nathan Drake got his ending, which honestly almost never happens in franchises like this. And because of that, the ending feels authentic. There's something almost bittersweet about playing Uncharted 4 now. It feels like the end of an era of gaming entirely. The PS3 and early PS4 era were full of these cinematic single-player experiences. And now, the industry feels completely different. In some ways, bigger, more expensive, more corporate, and in other ways, smaller and more personal. But either way, not like Uncharted. And I'm glad Uncharted was confident enough to end. I think that's at least part of why these games are still so loved. They feel complete. You grow attached to these characters because you actually go on the journey with them. And by the time Uncharted 4 rolls credits, it's kinda hard to say goodbye. That's pretty rare, especially in gaming. The fact that these are 10-hour-long games leads you to build even deeper bonds with these characters, rather than just watching them on your TV or something. And honestly, I think people underestimate how difficult it is to create characters this likable. Nathan Drake could have easily been obnoxious. but Nolan North's performance and the great writing completely changes the character. Same with Elena, same with Sully, same with Sam, same with Chloe. These characters feel timeless because they feel human. And combined with Naughty Dog's ridiculous attention to detail, it created something special. Not just a great franchise, but a defining franchise. The kind of series people grow up with and return to play throughout their entire lives. So maybe someday another studio will try again. Maybe somebody will make another big cinematic adventure series with incredible characters and insane set pieces. But even then, it probably still won't feel like Uncharted. Because Uncharted was more than just the games themselves. It was timing. It was the era. It was growing up alongside Nathan Drake over nearly a decade. It was experiencing these massive moments when they genuinely felt groundbreaking. And most importantly, it was a series that knew exactly when to stop. 4 mainline games that consistently delivered some of the best blockbuster experiences gaming has ever seen. And I think that might be why they still feel so special today. Because at the end of the day, I think we all know that we're probably never getting another Uncharted. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I do have lots of other videos, including one on The Last of Us, which is a very different type of video from this one, but I don't know, still The Last of Us, Naughty Dog, so maybe you want to check it out. Either way, thanks for watching again, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.